Hey everybody, I'm Kirby Bridges with EssentialTennis.com. This is another episode of The Changeover where we pick a tennis topic to debate to the death every week.
Only one will survive.
Stay tuned. So, today's topic is, should the Olympics be considered the fifth Grand Slam? What do you think, Ian?
No. It should not. And I've got a few different...
Definitive
oh,
no.
thank you.
8 minutes on the clock.
I have a couple of different lines of reasoning. The first one that I'd like to talk about is historical.
Historical.
Yeah, historical.
Go on.
There's just such a history, and so much of tennis is tradition. And while tennis was one of the original Olympic Games, there was a 64-year period where it was not included at all. In fact, it wasn't until 1988, just recently, that it was reinstated. And I mean, different events have been instated into the Olympic Games at different periods. What's really confusing to me,
like ribbon gymnastics, trampolining. What's
confusing to me is mixed only made it into the draw or into the event in just 2012. So it's like, why in the world would we want to give major status to an event that hasn't even recognized tennis as being an essential part of its fanfare until relatively recently? And it doesn't even recognize all different forms of tennis until very, very recently.
Okay, well, let me tell you why. Because the players want to be there. So we've heard there's so much pride in playing for your country. We've heard Nadal talk about it, Roger Federer talk about it, I've heard Venus Williams talk about it, how she really has shaped her playing schedule around Rio this year because there's a lot of speculation that she's going to retire after that. So the players want to be there, whether they like it or not. I mean, John Isner this year, he dropped out because regrettably, because of the scheduling. So I think that it's time that we legitimize the Olympics and we make it an event worth watching, because the matches are already great, and we actually decide, hey, now is the time to make this kind of a traveling fifth slam.
I'm honestly a little confused by your statement that the players want to play it so badly. Because historically, isn't there, the top players, aren't they historically not involved and they don't show up? And I've always kind of got the impression that, at least from the elite players, that it's a little bit of a pain and something that kind of gets in the way. I could be off base on this, and I'm sure it varies from player to player to player, you know, which players really value that the most. And I don't have any specific names. If I knew you were going here, I probably would have looked some up. But aren't there a lot of past elite players that have always skipped it, and they've got a lot of flack for it?
I don't have specific names for that either. So.
Well, I guess that's on me then. But I'm going to be looking that up after this.
But the thing is that there's not a whole lot of incentive to play it.
Did Sampras ever play the Olympics?
Well, I don't know. I mean, let's look. Somebody look it up. Somebody look it up. We want to. We have the Google on our phones. Okay, but so.
Thank you, Ara.
Which is my point to legitimize this, is because there's not a ton of incentive to play it besides pride, but the players still want to represent their country, but they're not getting paid to. So I understand where their logic comes from in not having the incentive to actually physically be at the event and have it take a chunk out of their valuable schedule, especially in gearing up for the US Open.
Is there no prize money for?
There's prize money according to country. So let's say, what I did look up is how much prize money each country gave their medal holders in the 2012 Olympics, and the U.S. gives their gold medalists $25,000. The silver medalists make, so lame. Can you imagine? I mean, so no wonder they don't want to show up. Can you imagine?
Yeah, I don't blame them.
That's that's not even a day rate for some of these people to make appearances.
So how could this possibly work? Where in a world where professional tennis players are used to making $1 million+ for winning a Grand Slam, how could they possibly standardize the Olympics and have a single athlete make $1 million to make it actually in the same arena as a Grand Slam, and have whatever gold medal bobsled person, sorry, this is Summer Olympics, so javelin, you know, make $5,000 from Iran or wherever it is. Like there's no way that this could possibly work.
Well, the thing is that it's really lopsided that even so the country that has the highest amount of payday, biggest payday for their gold medal athletes is Azerbaijan. And they, of all places, and they award their gold medalists
or across the board?
Across the board, all athletes, $510,000 for a gold medal.
Holy cow!
Right, so it's still not up to snuff for what it is. Ira, what?
He played one time.
Okay, he played one time.
1992.
Because he needed to be there. I mean, you need to have that in your resume, and it's such a special moment as an athlete. It doesn't matter what sport you are to play in the Olympics.
When you say it that way, it sounds like a door prize. Like, oh, and hey, I played the Olympics. Hey.
Well, but something else is that I think that with you're right. There's such a deep history in our sport, but it's also a quickly evolving game. And that's not to say that things don't change. I mean, you know, within this open era, things have changed dramatically. And right now we're having this huge shift where we have more tournaments in Asia, and that market needs to be more and more represented. So I think that the 2020 Olympics in Tokyo would be the perfect place to kick this off as the Olympics being tennis's 5th Grand Slam.
Yeah, I don't see it happening. I mean, Wimbledon was established in 1877. So we're talking about over 100 years of sustained tradition in history before tennis was finally reinstated as counting in the Olympics at all. So I don't see how it could possibly match up. Now, this is the historical side.
Okay, all right.
If it could ever possibly be on the same playing field or have the same, you know, clout or respect as the Grand Slams, it would have to make big changes as far as its format as well. It's 2 out of 3 sets until the final, until the gold medal.
I love that. That means that the men and the women are equal in their play.
Well, they should be equal at 3 out of 5, in my opinion.
That's fine too.
So, so that would have to change. It's only a 64 draw as opposed to 128. So as of right now, it's substantially easier to win a gold medal than it is to win a Grand Slam. And that's just fact. I mean, it's just based on the numbers. The field is half the size. You have to win less matches to win a gold medal versus a Grand Slam. So it's not on the same level. So there would have to be sweeping changes to the Olympic format. That's fine.
That's fine. Whatever it takes to make the Olympics the 5th Grand Slam, Ian.
Okay. And I don't think it's going to happen. Lastly, I guess this kind of has to do with history and tradition and whatnot. I mean, if you look at the pictures above your head right now, I mean, when you look at like the big moments in tennis, it always comes back to the grand. No, there aren't any pictures in anybody's head of an epic Olympic match where it's like it goes down in history as like one of the all-time, you know, great matches. It always comes back to the Grand Slams.
And that's because the Olympics have never been legitimized before, and that's why they should be in the future. Thank you guys so much for watching our debate on whether the Olympics should be the 5th Slam. We want to know what you have to say in the comments below. While you're at it, we'd be so grateful for a like. And thanks for watching. Good luck with your tennis.
Like us, please. For hundreds of free digital tennis lessons, head over to essentialtennis.com right now. More wins and more fun on the court is right around the corner. You'll even get a free gift just for stopping by. Simply click the link at the top of any page.